Hi, and welcome back to Sticks and Strings. I'm Naomi.
I'm Beth.
I'm Eve.
You should really see how many times we try to start this video. This one is, wait, I gotta put a thread. And I don't know, we're just
dropping things,
yes.
saying
Yes.
weird things. Yeah.
Well, welcome back. It is almost the end of November and Thanksgiving week. So I realized a couple days ago, I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't have a turkey. I don't know what I'm doing. So I do have a turkey now. I bought a fresh turkey this year.
Beth and I went and bought a cutting board and a knife.
All their stuff is packed.
It's this little cutting board like this,
And a little bitty knife.
And then I realized I have a chopper, a really nice chopper. It chops little dices. But anyway, you still need a cutting board.
Yeah.
So we hope that your Thanksgiving preparations are going well. And I think Eve's going to start today.
Yes. So I have been working on one of my WIP-GO projects for November. It's cross stitching for fun, Merry Wizards, I believe. I should know the name, but I know it's from Cross Stitching for Fun, and it's a free pattern on their Facebook page. Last time I looked, it was still there. I'm working on Mary Ravenclaw. I am almost done. I have some back stitching and a little bit of white right here. I know you can't see the white, but it's just a little bit of white back here and then back stitching, and then it'll be done. So I may finish it.
You've done 2 of the 4?
I've done 2. This is the third one. Yeah. And I have, what is the last one? Hufflepuff. I have Mary Hufflepuff waiting in the wings there. I have to say that while they talk about in the movies, they talk about Ravenclaw and Hufflepuff, you don't really see a lot about them.
Do you in the books?
Not that I recall.
I don't remember.
No. It's all Gryffindor and Slytherin that all of the...
Except for Rowena. She was very important in the movies.
Yeah, and Luna is Ravenclaw, isn't she?
I guess.
Yeah, and... they mention the 4 houses, and the 4 houses,
But they're not the cool ones.
Yeah, so obviously I started with Gryffindor, and then I did Slytherin. And Mary Ravenclaw is cute because, it's blue.
Yeah.
What
color is Hufflepuff?
Huh?
What color is Hufflepuff?
Uh,
I can't even remember.
Orange?
What their colors
It's
are.
not orange, but...
Yeah,
Gryffindor
Gryffindor is like gold or orange or something, and Slytherin is green and black.
It's...
Red? Checkered?
orange and gray, brown.
Now I've got to look it up. Now I'm going to look it up
Coral.
right now.
I don't know.
I'll look it up while you keep talking.
Does that tell you how often they showed them?
Right, exactly.
I mean, even their scarves, I don't even remember,
Yeah.
So what I did from last week was I finished the Krynic. I didn't realize when we were here last week that I hadn't done the Krynic, or maybe just at the end of, but I know now why I quit when I was working on the scarf. And that's because it's back stitching. Have you ever done back stitching with Krynic?
Gryffindor is
Gold and red.
Red and gold. Slytherin is green and silver. Ravenclaw is blue and brown. And Hufflepuff is like gold and black, gold and black, something like that. Hufflepuff, gold and black, and Gryffindor is gold and red. Well, actually, Hufflepuff is more yellow and black, like a bumblebee. Interesting. So now we know.
Yeah.
I'm a nerd, but I'm not that big a nerd that I knew it already, so. I'm
Okay.
proud of myself.
So I hadn't done the Krynic in the bottom part of this, and that was because I knew that I needed to do back stitching of the Krynic on the belt, and I hadn't done the white around there, so I couldn't do the back stitching yet. So that's why I was like, why didn't I just finish this scarf? Oh, that's why. So you can't really see the back stitching of the Krynic right here, but right here on the little hat, it's so cute. Gosh, I know. It doesn't have the second color except here in the
In this hat or?
in the title.
Oh.
So anyway, I'm almost done with that. There's 3 colors of back stitching, but you know, well, 3 colors if you don't count the Krynic. I have also done a itty bitty tiny amount on Pigeon Coop's wolf.
You started it?
No, I started it long before, remember? But I hadn't really worked on it. And it's in the same bag as my gingerbread house. So I kept seeing the pattern and I was like, okay, I'm doing that. I didn't do that much. Okay, can you see that? No, neither can I. I'm doing it on the called for black. I don't know that he calls for black Ada, but it's supposed to be on black. And
Oh, it's little. I don't know why I thought it was going to be big.
these colors do not show up until you start putting the other stuff with them. But I finished 2 rows-ish. Yeah.
Is it the top up here?
Yeah. So I did these 2 up here, except this line on this side, because I figure I'll just do that and then go down this way, because, you know, I can't skip across the whole moon. And there is a lot of 3/4 stitches in this, but I think it makes for, you know, the fluff on the
The coyote.
on the wolf. But since I'm using Ada instead of an even weave, doing fractional stitches on Ada is so much fun. But, you know, I like Ada, so it'll be all right. All right. My Jingle Ball piece I'm working on is Tiny Modernist Gingerbread House. No, I will not have it done by the time of the class, but I will have 2 pieces done, maybe 2.5. Anyway, it's okay because I'll have some of it done in time, but I just thought about it and I was like, I'll just watch her and how she finished it, because I don't have any finishing supplies here.
Right.
And I don't want to
Get them.
I don't want to get,
More supplies.
okay, we haven't had a lot of viewings recently, obviously, because it's, you know, the holidays. And I anticipate we probably won't. However, I don't want to get new stuff to put in here and do that, and then suddenly have to put it away.
Yeah.
Because I never know. So I still want to get it done by then, but okay. So as you recall, I finished this piece, and And I am almost done with this. I did all the regular stitching. I am now just working on back stitching. And this little gingerbread dude, I just love him. He's so cute.
Is it the back or the side?
It's the side.
Aw. Do they look the same, both sides?
Maybe. I don't know. Let me see.
It'd be cute if they were all different.
I don't recall.
Because in the picture, it only shows the one side.
The big back piece here.
Mm-hmm. That's the front?
This is the front. The big bag piece has, I can't show it to you because it's only pattern, has a tree and, what is this?
Like a fence, like a balcony?
Yeah, a balcony with a little window. But the side also just has a gingerbread man.
I see.
So I had told myself, well, you could work on that if you finish your snowman rather than starting the new snowman. So that's why I have my tablet here. But I'm excited to finish getting the back stitching done on this, because then I can start on the next one. So many patterns, so little time. Okay, so lastly,
So you just make two of the sides the same?
I guess, yeah. Finally finished the outside part of my November turtle. I finally just took everything out and started over.
Aww.
Because I thought at first that I was just wrong, just right on this end, and I could just move over his tail one stitch, and I'm like, yeah, I won't like it if it's not the same distance, but I wouldn't have to take out everything again, because I took it out already once. And I realized that, no, that's not the only thing that's wrong. It also was too small up and down. I was like,
Oh, no.
So I would have gotten a lot more done on my snowman and on the gingerbread house, but it took me 3 days.
The turtles of consternation.
It took me
Mr. Froggy
3 days to get that right. And then that doesn't even count working on it yesterday to put in this past week. So if you can see by this turtle, we have had the weirdest weather. It was cold for us, 60 degrees, right? Cold. And then it was hot. And then it was cold. And then it was hot. And it's just so weird because last week it was like 75, 80 to 83. Okay. This week, starting with last Saturday, 63 degrees, right? And yet yesterday was 84. I can't believe this is November. And it is still so hot.
It was pretty nice. This morning I walked to the mailbox.
But what's awful is that it gets to 80 and it feels yucky. Not yucky, but like that's not.
It's not fun to be outside in the sun.
But in the mornings it's still 40 degrees. And you're like, I've got to wear a coat to work.
But at around 3 o'clock or something, it's absolutely gorgeous outside.
Yeah.
Absolutely gorgeous. I have to arrive early to one of my schools on Friday because, well, a lot of the elementary schools, the parking is atrocious because you're trying to get past people who are getting there to pick up their child, and they block all the parking lots. They even pull into the handicap spots and wait there, like that's okay. So I get there early. I would rather get there early than park in the far lot. Many of the schools have a second lot that is quite a distance from the one that's right in front of the school. When I say quite a distance, I mean, around the back side of the thing or way over on the edge by the fields or whatever. And it's a lot more walking to get there. And so I'll get there half an hour early just so I don't have to deal with all the parents. And yesterday, at one of these schools, I have to wait outside for the kids rather than the classroom. And I told the office, I said, it's such a beautiful day. I'm going to wait out there rather than in here in the office. And she's like, sure. It was so pleasant outside.
So nice.
An hour later, when I was dismissing the kids, I could not stand out in the sun. I had to move to the shade.
Yeah.
It was horrible. So, strange weather.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's me.
That's you? All right, I'm going next. Hang on, I gotta do a couple stitches here so I can put this down for a second. So, last week was very strange. Remember, I was working on the cowl for my friend, and I was like, I'm gonna finish this. And my husband had a huge project that he was working on that he brought home over the weekend, and he was like, I'm gonna finish this. And we were literally up, the two of us, me in the living room knitting, him in our bedroom at his work computer working. And he comes out and he's like, I guess I need to go to bed. It was 5 a.m. I mean, I usually, a lot of times I stay up late doing the video because I don't start it till late and then it takes forever to upload, blah, blah, blah. I had that thing done by midnight. But no, I was like, I am going to finish this cowl because I want to work on all my other stuff. So, here she is. This is washed and blocked.
It is so pretty.
It's my own yarn. This is called, the pattern is called Simple Yet Effective Cowl. And it's not technically, it's supposed to be 10 inches wide, and it's not technically because the purple yarn ball was getting small, and I'm like, I don't know if I can do another 9 rounds with it. So it's about 9 3/4. You know, platform 9 3/4. So this is.
I'm sure somebody's gonna whip out their measuring tape to measure.
Yes. So
She's gonna say, I don't like this. It's not wide enough.
It's not wide enough. This is the cowl. I wove in all the ends, which took forever because, you know, instead of you making it with just one ball of yarn, I alternated, right? Mm-hmm. And I think it looks really nice. It's overall purple, but it has those little pops of color, and they're different no matter, you know, like depending on where in the cowl you wear. So it can be worn, you know, long like a scarf, or you can do it, you know, twice like a short scarf, and then you can put part of it like up over your head like this and wear it like a hood. So tomorrow...
That's about all the kind of sweater you need here, by the way.
Yeah. Well, and she's actually, she wanted it before she goes to New York, but she's going to New York the first weekend of December. So I was like, oh, I need to get this stuff. Which is why I was like, I gotta... That's her whole intention. She thinks she's not going to wear this in Phoenix, but I think she could. But
sometimes in Phoenix, all you need is
her
something
whole
on your
intention
ears.
was like, well, I'm going to New York, and you can knit me something. I'm like, yes, ma'am. So it's so funny. So I was like, well, I said I called her or emailed her and we've been communicating this week. I was also helping her with some tickets, and I was like, I have your cowl finished, and you know, I can get it to you this weekend. Would be great. Because I didn't really Thanksgiving weekend. I didn't want to. So she's like, well, come on Sunday. We'll have brunch, and I'm like, yes, ma'am. So we're doing tomorrow. Tomorrow morning we're gonna go up, and I get to finally give it to her. So I'm really excited. And I went to my boss, and I was like, look what I did with this lady. And he's like, good. Like, you're welcome. It's not in my job description.
Who is this woman?
I'll tell you later. She's a patron, but also turning to be a friend, and she's a really neat lady. So that is done and ready to go. And so that was, I finished it, well, I finished knitting in the wee hours of last Sunday morning. And then I had to weave in the ends, which took a long time. So I spent a few days doing that. And then I washed and blocked it. So for those of you who aren't knitters, once you finish a knitted piece, because you saw how when I would hold it up, it was kind of like it would like curl in on itself and the edges would curl, and you see that now it's got its shape. So I wet block things, so I have wool wash, and you soak them for a pretty long amount of time, and then I wrap them in a towel and actually literally stand on the towel and squeeze the water out, and then I'm able to block it. So what I do is I pin it down, and it's hard with a circular piece like that because a lot of times you'll get creases. And I had it that way, and I didn't have the corners pinned. And the next day I went back and turned it, kind of turned it a quarter and that center had kind of the ends had kind of stretched. So I re-pinned it, and I took, do you remember in my Halloween costume I had that knitting basket with those big thick knitting needles of my mother-in-law's? So I actually used those on the end. So here's a picture of it, because you can see the knitting needles in the loops on the end, and I have the knitting needles pinned so that they are, holding a length. And the piece wasn't very wet at that point still, but I did that to keep those ends rounded.
From creasing.
Keep them from creasing.
Yeah.
And it worked very well. So that's how I did that. And while I was washing and blocking things, I washed and blocked Mary's socks. So look how nice they look. So your socks are nice and clean and washed, and I'm going to go to the post office this week, and you will get them, Mary. Oh.
And since it's almost Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
the Christmas rush will start.
Yeah. So these are nice and
You have them
washed
as a Christmas
and
present.
blocked, and they are ready to go. And these are not mine. I made sure mine were nowhere near yours. I wouldn't. So when I started working on, after I was kind of like, relief, I got that thing out of the way, because I had interrupted, if you remember, I had interrupted myself because I was making this top.
That is so beautiful.
The name of which I cannot remember. It's got this, it's just knits and pearls with this triangular pattern on top, and it's an ombre yarn that goes from this cream color to this dark reddish brown. So I'm now just going down the body. It's just stockinette which is a straight knitting in the front, and then it's got a side panel of it's like called a broken rib on the sides, just to keep it interesting. And it's a single ply yarn, and I can't remember the name of it. I have another ball that I bought and found actually the same dye lot. So when this is at length, or I use up all the yarn, I have to decide, because I got to talk to Hannah about how long she wants it. But then the other ball of yarn, I'm going to use the cream to pick up the neckline and make a rib collar. And then I still have to decide about the sleeves. I had talked about seeing if I could join around the same color and divide. I have to divide the yarn and by color, and I don't think I can to make long sleeves. So I think I told her I'm just going to make them short and do a cuff. And I don't know if I'm kind of toying with the idea of, with the other ball of yarn, using this darkest brown for the cuffs, or trying to match this part of the gradient. The thing about this yarn as you can see, it's not very defined. Like, here's the end of the cream, here's the next, because what it does is it just works the new color in a little at a time. So it's very, very subtle. You can see how it's very subtle. It's like even the light browns are mixed into this cream up here. So I'm afraid I won't be able to find that color change exactly. So I'm not sure what I'm gonna do about the cuffs on the arms. But it's been fun to pick it up and knit it again. And if you remember, this sweater was an interruption of this sweater. And this is the cardigan I'm working on also for Hannah, which is full color work. It's called Genevieve's Graduation Cardigan, and I've got a long way to go on it, but I was very happy to be done with that cowl, and I'm like, I am not going to interrupt myself anymore. Ha 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 ha.
Famous
last words, which, I know is not true. But also, because I decided to, I haven't done any more on my birds. I heard a bird sing in dark December, and the whole dilemma I have about the poem. I haven't done any more work on it because I had to finish that cowl. But I really like this. I'm sitting with this some more and thinking that I might just leave it.
I would just leave it.
I don't know.
And I say that as someone who had to take out that turtle twice.
Yeah, I know.
It's not bad.
No, and anyway, so I'm still toying with that idea, and I brought this along because I'm like, okay, it's almost Christmas time. And I think I'm gonna, and I dyed this fabric. Remember last week I dyed this pretty fabric? Or 2 weeks, I don't know when it was, a few weeks ago. So I think I'm gonna, just for fun, just for Christmas mood, start this. And this is called 8 Tiny Reindeer. And then there's an actual extra little Rudolph one, which I may or may not do. But I really like this. I fell in love with this in Albuquerque 4 years ago, 5. It was before the pandemic or after? Before. After?
That says 2020.
Because Mom wasn't with us when we went.
Yeah, so this was designed in 2020, so I probably bought this in 21. And so I've had it a long time.
So isn't it weird how certain events in the world, you say, was this before that or after that?
Yeah.
Before 9/11 or after 9/11? Before Pearl Harbor?
Yeah.
Pearl Harbor.
Yeah. So, I may start this for fun because it's very motif driven, which I excel at, because, you do one deer, you do their name, you do the next deer, you do their name, that's really my jam. I kind of like that. So I think this would be fun for me. And I have it all ready to go. I just got to figure out where to start it, which way, how to orient myself. And this is a giant piece of fabric, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do in that regard. But I've got all the colors ready to go. So that's going to be my sit down Christmas fun. So, and that's me.
Let's finish this stitch so I don't lose this thread. So I did a few things last weekend. Excuse me. All of a sudden I'm goopy in my throat. Last weekend I was working on Prairie Schooler, the Starry Night, one of the patterns from Starry Night. I have to be very careful with this. The Wise Men on the Camel. Yeah, down here. And so last time I had just done the sky part, and so I've got almost all the black stitching. I just got to finish this camel under here. And then there's just the blue of the wise man's hair and his, it's not his hair, it's the thing on his head, part of his headdress, and his sleeve and the little blanket thing that the camel has on. There's some blue in there. And then there's all the gold stuff. And some of it I think I'm going to do just in regular, whatever the gold color is, 3820, I think, something like that. And some of it in cryonetic, like the star, and there's some little backstitched lines up here to make other stars. So they're going to be in cryonetic. I mean, not cryonetic. It's etoile. And then, but I think like the wise man's headdress is also that gold color. And so I think I'm going to use just the plain old gold, not etoile. And the same thing with the reins and everything of the camel. But but the wise man has a little jar, and also there's some gold details on the big vase that's on the camel's pack, whatever. And so I think I'll do a little etoile on theirs too. I don't know. That's a little detail, but anyway. So most of the black is done. I have to finish this camel, and then there's some back stitching around there. But I think I'm not going to do any of that of the back stitching. I might do the little town that's in the background that's back here, because that's just by itself. But then the other back stitching stuff, is on top of all this junk. So I have to finish stitching that. But I was hoping that I could finish it last weekend, just because these are relatively small and they go pretty quickly. And like I said, I got all this the black stitching done just in one day on Sunday. And so, but I don't know. It depends on what I have time to do. But I had a little drama because I did my update of my channel after this one, and I had this out, and I had taken a picture of it, and and all this, and all my needle minders, which is what this is. This is what I bought at Michael's. They had some DMC brand needle minders, and so I had bought this one, and they have like a tiny magnet on the front, like a tiny one of those silver magnets, and on the back it has a little black magnet, and it's very tiny. And somehow last Saturday, when I was taking a picture and then I was putting it away, and what I always do with these is I'll put the strong magnet in the back, and that's where my needle is, and then I fold the fabric over it to kind of hold it in place and protect it or whatever, so I don't knock it off. And somehow last week I knocked it off. I knocked the magnet off the back here somewhere, right? But so I went to pull it out Sunday to work on it some more, and this front of the needle minder fell off, right? So I thought, okay, the magnet is back here, stuck in a hoop or somewhere, and the needle was hanging there, and the back magnet was not on there, right? So I thought, oh, well, it must be on the bed, because I was stretched out on my bed, and so I'm looking all around, and it wasn't there. And I thought, well, is it on the blanket? Here, and I was like looking everywhere, and I got up and I was shaking up the blanket and looking all around and feeling all around on the sheet or whatever. And I thought, well, did I knock it on the floor? I'm looking around the floor, I could not find it anywhere. And so I came out here, and I thought, well, maybe I dropped it out here, and it's on the floor out here somewhere. So I'm looking on the floor, and I'm moving all the chairs and the table and everything. And
What are you looking for?
yeah, and then I was afraid because the dog would, if you leave some stray thing on the floor, you know, she's like exploring with her snout, and I was afraid that she had, you know, sucked up the magnet and
Keep
swallowed
in
it.
mind, this is the same dog who chewed up batteries and ate matches.
Yeah.
So,
So I was terrified that she had done that, but I didn't, you know. So I'm working on it. I had worked on it a little bit, and then I put it away, and I was just like, I hope the dog did not swallow that magnet. And I thought, I hope my cats didn't swallow the magnet. So anyway, then this past, I guess it was yesterday, I had my project bags for what I was working on, and they slid off the bed, and they were on the floor, on the side, on the floor. And so I was like, oh, that's a pain. So I went and was getting back there, and I got the bags, and as I was walking past that end of my bed, I'm like, what is that? And there was a little teeny weeny magnet. And I mean, this is very tiny. It's
The size of a pea.
yeah, it's this big. It's little bitty. And I just happened to turn my head the right direction because it was there on my bed on the very far end. So I must have like
Flung it.
I flung it when I shook the blanket out. I must have flung it across there, and I'm surprised that the cats didn't play with it or knock it down or anything, you know. But it was just sitting right there. I was like, ah! So yes, so that was the
I
drama.
had the same thing with a sapphire from this ring.
Oh.
One day I had just gotten it, and one day I was at work and I was looking at it and I was like, no, it wasn't at work. I had taken a nap, and later on that day I was looking at it and I was like, there's a sapphire missing. I was freaking out. And now I got it from a place that if you lose a stone, they won't replace it. So, you know, as long as you keep your warranty up and everything. But I was sick, and I was like, well, let's see. I was asleep, and I go back to my room, and there on my bed was the sapphire. Could not believe it. Just sitting there. Or like when you lose something, you look everywhere, and then it's right where you were looking.
the first time.
The first time. It's just sitting there, and you're like, how did I miss that?
Well, I remember walking along the side of a road looking for the gas cap for my car because I had stopped to gas up the car, and I had taken the gas cap off and put it on the top of the car. And then when I was filling up and doing this, whatever, I somehow got interrupted and forgot what I was doing. I don't remember.
Oh,
I don't remember whether I
that's
found
called
it.
go buy another one.
Yeah.
Is that you?
No.
Oh,
No. So so that was what I worked on Saturday and Sunday, and I had talked about this Wayfaring Stranger pattern that I think I had done 4 days as of last weekend, and my goal is 7 days. So I worked a little bit more on it, and I got this far. So I finished this half of the grass patch, and I'm working on the River Jordan over here, and I did just a little bit more to finish this thread of the words over Jordan. But all the little sheep holes are there for the sheep waiting to be put in. But I was sick of doing this green and everything, so I just decided to do the river over here. But so I hit 7 days, and I don't know if I'll work on it some more by the end of the month if I have some time left over. I'd love to finish this river, but it's a lot of stitching, a lot more than it looks like, you know. Because it's so tiny, it's so hard to do. But
Yeah, but when it gets done, it's going to be beautiful.
Yeah.
So.
it's very delicate, so it's so small.
that's
Very
very nice.
pretty. It's so small. Oh.
Yeah, I was surprised when I did it because I knew I was doing it at kind of a small count, but when I counted the border stitches, I counted it over and over again because I thought, is it that small really? Because I thought I must have miscounted or something. especially when I turned the corner down here and it was going across, I'm like, hey, is it really that small? But yes, it is. Because it doesn't look small here, you know. But anyway, so this is, I designed this so for my dad. So there's that. And then so I hit, like I said, I hit 7 days on that. And so my other project, my other main project is the bald eagle. This was supposed to be a secondary project with one of my Sleepy Hollow patterns, but I moved it to be a regular project. So it was a new start, basically, instead of a WIP, but the goal of that was 7 days. And so I started it on Thursday. So this is Thursday and Friday, 2 days basically. So I did a lot of the darker color on the wings, on the wing, and I wanted to do the eagle's head because I wanted to make sure it was there. Because some of this brown color, it starts about halfway through his body here, and then you go to the other wing, and then there's, you know, so there's multicolors, whatever. So, and I was debating whether to do there's some DMC, just black lines here on this to be his feathers. And I thought, well, I could do that because then that would give me, make me able to count to do the little branch that he's sitting on, and then I can go down and do the cabin underneath it, because I've been trying to do the little cabins on each pattern. But this one is like way down at the bottom and way down in the middle of, you know, of everything. So I had to do a lot to begin with, just to start, you know. And then there's this big tree on the side I'd like to do also. So this is Weeks Dye Works Molasses. And then the middle of it, in here, these empty spaces, is another Weeks Dye Works color, Hazelnut. And the rest is all DMC. So yeah. So that's 2 days worth, and I have, you know, 5 more days to go. So, but that's coming along actually a lot faster than I thought it would, because when I first saw this pattern, I thought, oh my God, that's so dense and complicated and big and huge, and there's so much stitching, but actually it goes by pretty quickly. So, because I thought, I'm never going to finish that eagle because it's so long, it's so huge. But actually, I've got one of the wings.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
it's smaller than it looks.
Yeah.
On
Yeah.
on here.
Yeah.
That's neat.
So
that'll go
yeah,
fast.
so it's coming along pretty well. And then the other fun thing was I got a thing in the mail saying your package has arrived. I ordered from Fat Quarter Shop for my Jingle Ball pattern, for the Festive Forest pattern. It calls for DMC and weeks and what do you call it? Cottage Garden Threads and Roxy Floss. So I ordered the Roxy Floss, and I had one of the Weeks Dye Works colors. I had all the DMC, of course, and the other 2 Weeks Dye Works colors I couldn't find. That was the one I couldn't find at the attic last week, and so I finally went ahead and ordered them, and I ordered them from Fat Quarter Shop.
Yeah, because she said 1, 2, 3 Stitch doesn't have them either.
Yeah. The 2 colors are River Otter and Cardinal, and you know, I think 1, 2, 3 Stitch had River Otter, but not Cardinal. It was out of stock, and so Fat Quarter Shop had both of those colors, and one of the Cottage Garden Threads. This is Blackwood. And the other 2, Cottage Garden Threads has a website, but it's an Australian company, so the shipping is almost as much as the threads. I think the 2 threads are like $11, and then the shipping is like $9 something. So I was like, I don't know, I want to do that. So I'm going to see if I can find again a source here in the States for those 2, the 2 colors that I'm missing. But So these are the Weeks Dyeworks colors, River Otter and Cardinal. Yeah, so, or on those other Cottage Garden threads, I might just use the DMC. I saw somebody had posted, they had finished the Festive Forest, and they had done it all in DMC, in the DMC alternatives. So they had finished it, and I was like, man. So, but anyway, so it's fun. I've never used Cottage Garden threads before, so that's kind of why I wanted to order them. But like I said, if I can find an Etsy shop or someplace here in the state, I just
Where'd
have
you
to
get
look.
that one?
This one I got from Fat Quarter Shop.
Oh, they had that?
Yeah, they had this one, but they I guess they didn't have the other two. So I'm going to look again to see if maybe they have them in stock. And also because I thought, well, if I order them from Australia, I don't know how long it'll take, to get here. So if I can find them here in the States, I haven't looked at Etsy to see if somebody has them at Etsy, on some Etsy shop. But if Fat Quarter Shop has the other two colors now, I may just go ahead and order them.
Did you press the notify me thing?
No, I didn't, because I didn't know if I was gonna.
Yeah, but you don't have to order it.
Yeah,
You just, let me
I-
know if you get this in.
I didn't. So anyway, but I think that is me.
Okay. Now it's time for question of the week. Last week, our question of the week was, how do you stitch? Like, do you stitch in hand? Do you use a hoop? Do you use a Q-snap? And we got a lot of responses. Let me get this. I can't just when I hit my stitch marker. If I stop, it'll fall off. We got a lot of just really varied responses. Some people do more than one way. Some people do, depending on the size and stiffness of the fabric, they'll do it in hand, and some people use hoops. Some people use Q-snaps, and then there was one I'm like, that sounds like something from the space age.
What?
The Omaric, the floor stand.
Omanic quantum frames. So I was like, what is that? So there's a lot of variety out there. Basically, it's whatever you feel comfortable with. Thanks for responding. I love that. Some people do every single way, and some people are very like hoops and, just really consistent. Our question for this week is, we were curious what your favorite cross-stitch designers are. And if you're a knitter like me, you can also talk about knitting designers if you would like. We usually, these guys usually have a really big variety of what they like. I don't know, do you have a favorite, Eve?
It depends, because like you go through favorites. Like, I was watching Helen D's thing where she was flipping through that Pigeon Coop Designs book, and I was like, okay. And I love again, it was Helen D that was showing all these berries that she did, and I was like, that looks like fun. And then she talked about the berry SAL, and I found that I just really like the berries because for me, they're small.
And this is the
And
Carmichael's ones?
Yeah. They're small and they're easy for me to finish, and they don't take up tons of space for me to put them away or something. So I'm also doing hands-on designs berries, and I started with Eric Michael's berries, but when I see a berry by any designer, I look at it to see if I want to do that. And
What's cute about them is that they make a really easy decor. Like
they
you
do.
Can change them out.
I would have the different seasonal ones there on the coffee table.
Yeah.
And
What was the one that you were doing that had the bird that you were turning into a quail? Who was the designer for that one?
that was,
There was one that we saw at the attic.
yeah, something or other samplers. I don't know. I can't remember, but it was so cute. And I used to look at the sample there at at the attic, and they never had the pattern sitting there, and I didn't feel like going and looking around or whatever, because I figured if they had the thing there, they would have the pattern there. And while I loved it, I didn't want to order it, you know. And one day I will come up to pay for something there, and I was like, oh, and that's when I bought that one. But
And if you, oh, sorry.
I like the berries I like the berries that the hands-on design is doing. I haven't stitched on. I finished one. I haven't finished the second
She's the
one.
one that's doing the longer
one.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite, Beth?
I don't.
Did you have a favorite?
I don't know. I kind of do. I guess I like Tiny Modernist. She has a lot of fun stuff.
You do a lot of Tiny Modernist stuff.
And
I do too.
And I like Tiny Modernist has a very cute style, and she does like a lot of those Mouse's Lucky Day. She has a whole bunch of those, I guess. I gather. I've done 3 of them, but also she does like she did the Mousecapades series, which is a Christmas series, and I have all the patterns, but and I wanted to start them, but I haven't yet. So, but
you do a lot of these guys. Too.
Yeah, Prairie Schooler is a lot of fun. I have like several of the Prairie Schooler Santas. Excuse me. But the Starry Night and the Black Oak Angels I really like. Excuse me.
So you can also answer the question if you're like me, if you don't have a designer that you gravitate to, but like some you've seen that you want to do. These 2 that I have, I just fell in love with the particular theme. This one is the bird one is Hawk Run Hollow. I haven't looked at their other things, but I understand from you that they have really cool things.
Yeah, Hawk Run Hollow. There's a whole bunch. I think they're all big like that. Either they have separate like individual panels all together.
Like this one,
like
that.
All
these panels.
And this is who is the designer? Carriage House Samplings.
Oh yeah.
So there's a whole bunch of Hawthorne Hollow things. So that some of them are like squares.
But Carriage
like
House
that.
has different like lines of designs.
I don't know. I just know that a lot of people.
There's
do the
also a
Hawthorne Hollow
violin
things.
shop named Carriage House, just FYI.
But they have like there's also like there's the villages of Hawthorne Hollow. There's the shores of Hawthorne Hollow, which is a very nautical theme. But like the villages, I think the village of Hawthorne Hollow and Halloween at Hawthorne Hollow, things like that. There's some of them that are more like a big piece with like the village, laid out there. And then others are like that one with individual squares.
Panels, yeah. What are you going to say?
I don't remember.
Sorry.
I do a lot of cross stitching for fun. Those 4 seasonal ones that are Art Deco, and the cat that I had them. They very nicely flipped it for me so that I could do the 2.
Oh yeah.
Cute Patterns by Maria.
Cute
Oh
Patterns
my
by
God.
Maria.
Oh,
Yes.
Oh, her stuff. And
I love her.
her stuff is, the ones I've chosen are small, but she has a huge variety, and she's on Etsy. And just absolutely
They're
love.
So cute, yeah. Cute
Yeah.
is the right word.
I was going to say, knitting wise, I think I've seen you talk more about Casapinka than
Casapinka is probably one of my favorite knitwear designers. I really like her. She does. I didn't even look at the knit along this August. I was like so sad. I'm like I can't start something new. I've got to focus and finish things. But I really like her patterns, and I like her sass and her style too. So.
I like a lot of Plum Street samplings. They have a lot of those animal stacks, like stacks of deer or stacks of sloths or stacks of hedgehogs or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's a really cute line. I think I have one or two of those patterns, but I wish I had them all because I just love them.
And you know, the funny thing is, and this is the wonderful thing about Floss Tube, is I would never have looked at a Cute Patterns by Maria thing if I had not seen it on a floss tube. I would never have started doing a berry had I not seen it on floss tube. I would never have the cross stitching for fun seasonal things. Those are the first ones that I bought from them. And we were doing that challenge where you stitch so much every day. And somebody posted her picture of her progress, and it was one of those, and it was the dragonflies, and I was like, oh. And that's the bad and very nice thing about floss tube is that somebody finds a pattern and you see it and you just go, I have to find that. I have to pigeon coop.
Yeah, that's how I got the Black Archangels. There was a guy. I don't think I haven't seen a floss tube from him in years now, or all year at least. Ginger Gerald, and he had a couple of the Black Archangels on his site that he had finished, and I thought, oh my gosh, those are so great. And so I fortunately they're all in one pattern leaflet from Prairie Schooler. But then also Prairie Schooler had so I think somewhere I had come across they have these little they're basically the size of like business cards, little bitty miniature things, but they have individual patterns. So one of them was the Black one of the like an angel like the Black Archangels, but with a little bit of color in it. So I had that one, and then somehow I come across this Starry Night thing. I think somebody had posted it, but I was gonna say that this Year in the Woods series. I also saw on.
Well, so that's a part B of the question is, have you found any new designers that you want to do or have done through what you've seen here? Because we've been on the air now. Oh wait, is this our 200th episode?
I don't know, but we started shortly before Christmas when we started, didn't we?
Right. Yeah. So this was This is 200th episode. Wow. So we've got 200 episodes to tell you about all the designers that we do. So have you found anything through us? So that's kind of interesting as well. So some of the aspirational ones I always think about are Long Dog, because they're so cool and they're all one color and they're so extensive. And they're so detailed, and I am so attracted to them. And I have two that I bought, and both I've done. One, I was doing 1/1, tiny, and I had to get a light and a magnifying glass, and I'm like, this is not sustainable. So I might try it again, normal. But it's really beautiful. It has a verse, and then the other one was the pandemic.
Somebody
which I can't find. I started it in purple. I was in the whole thing in purple, and I don't know where it is. I've looked through my box. I can't find it.
I saw somebody was doing. I don't know if it was Ragnarok or it was some other longer sampler design, but they posted a picture of this one area that they had finished, and it was like a one creature on top of another creature on top of another creature. It's like, this is so cool. Like all these, like a crab on top of a turtle on top of something. I mean,
that was in the Long Dogs thing.
Yeah, it was just like one of those. You can't really tell until you're doing the detail, and you're like, oh, look at that.
Yeah, they're so cool. The other one that I always think about is Heaven and Earth. Those
Heaven and Earth designs,
big, like that snowman that you have, Eve.
Yeah.
Have you brought it out again or looked at it?
No, because I decided when I put everything up to SAL house.
Yeah.
I said, I'm just going to leave it over there because it's not something that I want to take out and get ready to do and then have to put everything away and take out and ready to do.
Yeah.
These littler things, they're easy to do, you know?
Yeah.
But that takes concentration, and it takes, I have to have the markers out, I have to have, you know.
Well, and a lot of
Makes
people
sense.
for the heaven and earth designs things use easy good fabric, and you know because they used Ada because it's you know because you're not doing fractional stitches, you know, and everything
Yeah,
else.
well, that-
you just
but
have to 40,000, you know.
That wasn't
Stitches
it though,
in
that
there.
wasn't why I put it up and haven't worked on it.
No, it's just
No, I'm just
so
saying
much.
that-
It's so big.
Yeah.
So I just love those.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like that Santa Claus I gave you. That's I don't know. It was just a
That's a Teresa Kogut.
yeah.
Yeah. That she's another great one. That I really like her designs. They're very they're just you know, she has a very cute thing, very complicated thing. Very just she did a Halloween pattern that came out I guess this year. That is it's just gorgeous.
Well, that was really beautiful. It's like Santa reading a list, and I
Oh,
wanted
yeah, that
one. That's what I'm
Yeah.
talking about. Like it's
Yeah, I
It's
think
so-
I think that's a leisure arts.
yeah.
one.
I think I
Yeah.
was to say I don't
Yeah.
think I ever bought any Teresa
Yeah.
Kogut, but it
I was thinking about the Santa Claus that I did for you.
no, you
It's
did
a
for
Teresa
me.
Kogut.
No, I'm
Yeah.
talking about the one that I did not finish and gave you all
Yeah.
the stuff. Because I had done literally like this much of it, you know.
I think
Again.
Vonna Pfeiffer did that one with the list.
Really with the list,
She
it's so
finished it,
beautiful. I always want to do those, but I realize like this kind of motif thing is really more me because I can sit down. Now, if I think about it, like I like that idea of the easy grid fabric because then you can, like I can be like I can finish this square.
Yeah. Well, and also because it helps you keep track of
Where
you
you
know
are.
before you are because it's gridded just like the pattern is gridded, you know. So.
So please tell us,
Yes.
answer our question of the week in this episode 200, and
I also want to put
let
a
us
plug in.
know.
I love Lindy Stitches too.
oh yeah, you do love Lindy Stitches.
I could,
So let us know what's your favorite, either the designs you've done, the designs you're working on, or your aspirational designers that
Yes.
you long to do, because that's kind of where I am. So I do have one funny story from this morning. You know, I bring the Diet Cokes every week, unless you come to my house and you bring them. But today, I like almost risked at least my car, if not my life. No, just kidding. Not my life at all. But I'm sitting like a good person in the drive-thru. Fortunately, I was close to the window. And in this McDonald's, the drive-thru, you order here, and then you turn the corner, and the first window is right like a
corner.
diagonal on the corner, and then you come around and you go to the pickup window. So I was at the first window, so my car is at a diagonal, and the lane goes around like that, right? So I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden Eli's like, "Whoa, what are you doing?" Like that, and I look, and a car was passing me in a drive-through lane
There's not any space there.
on the right-hand side.
Yeah.
I know.
There's a wall. There's no space.
There's like a little thing of leaves and a wall. Well, I guess it's wide enough for 2 cars.
Yeah,
Because I guess
they're thinking it's 2 lanes here. They were.
No,
I don't know what
it
they were
isn't
thinking,
wide
but
enough to-
I know
it's not
it's
meant-
not.
it's
But
not-
I mean, as you
it's
turn
not
the
meant to
corner,
be.
as you
So
turn the corner,
the 2
you know,
lanes
you're supposed
converge
to-
well
yeah.
before that window.
Yeah.
But it's it's built wide for whatever. But this person was like, "Nope, I'm going," and they came around and they were like in front of my car like this, and I'm like, I was like so upset. And then they go on like, just if you're gonna go on, I've gone through a drive-through, but I'm like, never mind, I'm not gonna order anything. But you're already stuck. You just gotta be stuck. Just stay. Just wave as you pass the window. I'm like, what are you
Well,
doing?
most of the videos that I see where there's major crashes, like out on highways and stuff, it's somebody being impatient and trying to pass on a
Passing
double
on
yellow
the
line.
right. So I was like, there's no passing on the right, and there's no passing on the right in a drive-through lane. So I hope you enjoy those Cokes. We've been talking for a while, and I've got a full agenda, and tonight is another symphony concert, And so we are gonna go, and I will talk to you later. We'll see you next week. I don't know why I said I'll talk to you later. That's what I say when I hang up the phone. Sorry, that was really weird.
Like my friend's like, I love you, bye.
Yeah. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yes,
Bye.
yes.